I would like you all to, in your minds, envision a scenario. Semi-automatic assault rifles have been banned in America, and all you have in the possession of your home is a small handgun. One night, a criminal decides to break into your home in possession of one of these firearms that he obtained off the black market. You're laying in your bed when you hear a window shatter. You rush to your closet to grab your gun and walk out. You go into the kitchen to see what has happened, where you find the criminal. You exchange fire with him, but he gets off 8 rounds in the amount of time that it takes you to get off 2 rounds. You fall to the ground, and the situation could have been drastically different had the government not implemented this new law. Approximately 40 to 50% of Americans' households possess firearms, and in 2018, the FBI accounted for 325,000 guns illegally acquired through the black market. In this speech, I will be discussing why banning semi-automatic assault rifles is a bad idea. Because criminals would be more likely to commit crimes, the black market would remain thriving, and the government is not to be trusted. Now that I have stated my 3 points, I will address my first one: why criminals would be more likely to commit crimes. If civilians gave up their guns, criminals would feel much more safe committing their heinous acts. Quote, in 2018, the average dollar value of property stolen per reported robbery was $2,119. Robberies accounted for an estimated $598 million in losses. I acquired this from FBI.gov. This statistic shows how, when committing crimes, criminals have no care for you, and they only care for the possessions that they intend to steal. Now that I have addressed why criminals would be more likely to commit crimes, I will explain why the black market would remain a threat. Quote, an estimated 287,400 prisoners had possessed a firearm during their offense. Among these, more than half had either stolen it, found it at the scene of the crime, or obtained it off the street or from the underground market. 43% of the 56% had been obtained from the underground market. Most of the remainder had obtained it from a family member or friend as a gift. 7% had purchased it under their own name from a licensed firearm dealer. I obtained this from bjs.gov. This statistic shows just how few amount of the number of guns used to commit crimes are obtained legally. Now that I have explained why the black market would remain a threat, I will explain why the government would be likely to act unconstitutionally if semi-automatic assault rifles were banned. In the early 1960s, the American CIA plotted to commit a terrorist attack in Miami, and they were in order to gain public support for a war in Cuba. Quote, in the recommendation section of the justification for U.S. military intervention in Cuba memo, the Joint Chiefs of Staff make clear their willingness to stage actual terrorist events with legitimate casualties to sustain their intentions to intervene militarily in Cuba's affairs. I acquired this from publicintelligence.net. If the government plotted to attack us just 60 years ago, why would it be illogical to give them our guns? We should think about giving up our weapons before doing it, because there could be huge consequences to the action. One big request I have is that if the government one day makes you give up your guns, simply refuse to give them up. And a more reasonable request I have is to just simply understand a person's want to maintain the right to bear arms. Thank you.